Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here. And today we have one absolute hell of a match from Mr. AntiFunPolice here on the European server, playing the Tier 10 Research Bureau American battleship Ohio. One of the absolute best resource premium ships in the game, in my opinion. The Ohio is essentially a Montana with 8 18-inch guns instead of 12 16-inch guns. She also enjoys Massachusetts levels of secondaries and the improved American battleship Hill, along with the improved American battleship Repair Party. Both also have a very similar cooldown time to the Massachusetts' cooldown time for a Hill and for a damage con, which means that the Ohio is fairly tanky with these consumables, at least while she has them. Once she does run out of heals, though, she is just a Montana hull, has a very, well, not very similar, the exact same armor layout as the Montana hull, which isn't great, but isn't terrible either for, well, getting in at medium to close-ish range. It's no German battleship armor, but the Citadel is below the waterline. However, she's coated in 32 millimeters of armor. Now, before you say anything, yes, AntiFun is scrolling in with the mouse wheel when he was playing this game. And since that's how he was playing the game, that's how the replay recorded it. There's literally nothing I can do about that. So I do apologize, that's just how he plays. Trust me, you'll want to stick around. This is absolutely worth it. Now, he's also equipped Halsey on his Ohio. His exact build, I'm not 100% sure, but judging by some of the shots he'll start making here in a second, he has a main battery gun build on the Ohio, which is absolutely worth it. The Ohio does have the ability to build to secondaries, because she does have Massachusetts level secondaries. You can't get those out till 11.3 kilometers. However, the main battery gun build, you can do that. Absolutely rail a Yami at 21 kilometers for 20k HP. Now, the Ohio can slot the special American, what is it? What's the lot? The last slot. I forget exactly what number. I think it's what the 8th or 7th slot. The Artillery Platoon Mod 2 module, which gives the shells an 11% boost to their dispersion, which is how you're able to hit that at such range. I was also checking there to see exactly what his other ranges are. So judging that his secondary range is down to 8.3 kilometers, and he's getting pretty good salvos out of the guns. I suspect this is a main battery tank build. I'm not 100% sure he didn't send in his commander build. AntiFun, if you're watching, please enlighten us in the comments down below. So opening salvo, he's exchanging long-range fire with other battleships, which the Ohio isn't the worst at, again, especially with the module equipped, but she does have the American AP, which is quite slow. Travels, I believe, at 732 meters a second on the Ohio, because it is the super heavy American AP shell, which on an 18-inch gun means that the Ohio has amazing alpha thanks to that super heavy AP shell. It does have all the other improved properties as well. The Sherman's not having a good day. AntiFun chunks him for 5k. So what's going on with the teams right now? So, well, there goes the friendly gearing right off the bat. So if you look at the map, the teams have actually dispersed in a fairly similar manner. Up north, you have the bulk of the enemy team, along with the bulk of the friendly team. Down south, you have, well, you had 4 friendly ships down here at the sea cap, but the gearing just got obliterated. He pops his ranging plane here to get an absolutely gorgeous 10k salvo off of the Sherman. Ranging plane, spotting plane there to get the elevated camera, and shaves 10k off the Sherman. That was a great shot right there. And man, you can't help but think in real life that ship would pretty much be cut in half by those 18-inch shells hitting all in the middle of the ship like that. Gets another salvo off, able to arc those shells behind the island thanks to the American shell arcs. And again, with the following of the shells, there we go. There's his first kill. Sherman. The following of the shells, that again is AntiFun doing that in-game. I had no control over that. And there's that Albemarle that very rudely set him on fire a few seconds ago. It's got him in his sights. Albemarle's trying to tuck behind the island, but unfortunately for AntiFun, he does get there in time and block his shots. He continues to spam AntiFun with his HE. So, well, teams are pretty balanced so far. Sherman went down. Gearing went down. Both teams are down 1 DD. The enemy team has just capped the C cap. And this is a CV and a submarine game, by the way, if you can't tell from the 1, 2, 3 charges of ASW planes being dropped on 4 charges of ASW planes being dropped on the U-190. U-190 just lost half of his health from that. Not a good day to be a U-boater at the moment. So AntiFun is looking for that Albemarle to show back up. He did get another salvo off on him there. His spotter has now ran out, although again he pretty much has most of the map in his range. That's another effect of taking the modules on the American battleships. The Artillery Platoon Mod 1 module gives you a massive boost to your gun's range, which I wouldn't really take on most American battleships because again, by the time you're firing at those long ranges because of the flight time with the shells, shoot, it's like 13, 14, 15 seconds for the shells to get there, which in most cases is plenty of time for the enemy ships to move if they are paying attention. Alright, at this moment now, AntiFun's pushing back in. He cut it out a little bit too hard there. And you can see it's just the Yami over here. He's really waiting for that Albemarle to come back up. And there he is from 14 kilometers away. Albemarle, Chekhov gets the Zeton. AntiFun fires his salvo at the Albemarle, again following his shells to the target, and bingo, bango, bongo! Absolutely murders that Albemarle there for all of his health and gets his dev strike. He's on 2 kills now, and wow, what a salvo. Gotta love the Ohio's guns. God, these guns are so good. Ohio's a very popular ship when it comes to competitive. If you haven't noticed, if you haven't watched any CODs or participated in clan battles, it's everywhere at Tier 10 for this reason. For Tier 10 competitive, I should say. If you notice too, Albemarle, AntiFun is being very smart. He's targeting the enemy DDs first. Look at this! Look. Oh, the absolute spamming of ASW planes. And there goes the S-189. Yeah, submarines ain't that tough when you drop an entire, I don't know, strategic air raid on top of their head there with the SW plane. So anyway, if you notice, here he is again. He's going after the DDs. He's being very smart. This is what you want to do in game. You want to take out the enemy DDs. That blinds them. That takes away their capping ability, their late game capping ability. Because every time you let a DD go to the end of the match, that team usually wins. Why? Because he's able to run around, cap, stand detected, and do DD things. You need to take those guys out as soon as possible. And the enemy gets the enemy U-190 with his ASW planes. Now, if you notice here, the enemy ships are starting to butt up against the islands here, as they do on tiers of the cruisers. And since they've done this, with their bows facing toward the friendly team, this is giving AntiFun the absolute glorious buffet of broadside here, with the Ruprecht, the Hawk, the Azuma as well, and the enemy Yami over here. Look at this. Nothing but broadside. Glorious indeed. So he starts going after the Hawk, which makes sense. It's a very lightly armored ship. It is a battle cruiser. And let's see. And of course now he doesn't follow his shells into the target. It's one non-pin on the Hawk. I'm assuming probably railed the turret there. That second salvo went toward the Ruprecht. And again, the teams are fairly matched here. Cruiser down, DD down, submarine down on the enemy team. Friendly teams down, a battleship, a DD, and a submarine. So again, they're pretty much keeping pace with each other. There's some torpedoes right there. Ah, look, a Fletcher. Hello. Ooh, takes the blind shot on that Fletcher. Enemy Yamato takes out the friendly Tashkent. Gets 3 overpins on that Fletcher for his... Ooh. Hawk eats some torps there. Hawk is backing up, getting out from behind that island cover. AntiFun's doing a good job of looking around, making sure that the Regalo isn't trying to sneak up on him. Again, you'd be surprised how many times players don't realize there's a 60-knot smoke screen streaming toward them. Takes a shot there on the Hawk. And it is... Oh, there he goes. Follows the shells once again. It is good. It gets a Citadel off of him on top of 2 other pins. On top of another pin for 24k. Again, up to 131,000 damage now. Still in 2 kills, 4 Citadels. Dev strike and 41 shell hits so far. Enemy Yami coming around the corner. Friendly Gearing is attempting to cap the A cap. The Ruprecht is still in that cap. And AntiFun having a little bit of a stroke there. He was looking at targeting that Ruprecht, but finishes off the Hawk there for his 3rd kill of the match. Rowley takes out the friendly Poison. Very sad. Very sad indeed when a Hydro ship gets taken up by torpedoes. Ruprecht looking mighty low. And slips away undetected. Fires again for some reason. I would have absolutely stayed undetected. And AntiFun lets his shells fly. Surely confirming a kill there on the Ruprecht. There goes, I'm assuming, the Fletcher's torpedoes, because he's the only one hanging around this area. Yep, gets the Ruprecht there for his 4th kill of the match. Friendly Azuma unfortunately gets the friendly... Sorry, enemy Azuma gets the friendly gearing that was attempting to cap the C-cap. Enemy Yamato, again, absolutely just showing him broadside at this point. Atago gets the enemy Poison as well. And let's see what this does. Yamato is angled, however it is the American AP. And overpins, hit his superstructure for 144,000 damage now up to this point. Again, teams are still trading pretty much beat for beat here. This rarely happens, at least for the North America server. I'm not sure if this is more of a European thing. But from what I've seen, blow-up matches are pretty common on all servers at the moment. Eyeing up that Azuma all the way out there. Oh, hello, enemy Regalo. Takes a blind fire shot on the Italian destroyer there. He is not locked on and still gets him for his Kraken Unleashed. That's another good thing too, guys. Don't be afraid to take those blind fire shots. All you have to do, especially when they're that low, is just clip them with one shell, and that's it. There he goes for Kraken Unleashed, his 5th kill. But unfortunately, the enemy Chikolov, as AntiFun gets yet another kill, the enemy team just follows it up with a kill of their own. And again, the teams are still absolutely just step for step, hit for hit, tit for tat here in this match. Now, the bad thing is, since the friendly team up north has backed off at the A-cap so hard, no one's been contesting it since that gearing died, which means now the enemy team's got 2 caps and they are gaining on points on the friendly team. And you see, that's a fairly healthy Yamato that's just stuck bow into an Azuma and 1 more Yamato. Which at this point he should be pushing forward and trying to put some pressure on the enemy team, because there's no pressure on them. They're able to just nuzzle up next to these islands and all and hide from the enemy team's shots. But thankfully, AntiFun is in this position to where he can get shots in at them. Fires in at the bow end Azuma and gets a pretty good chunk out of him for 10k. The enemy Yamato is pushing up here. And you can see there is another Yamato all the way in the back. Oh, there he is right there, coming out for a second. Another beautiful broadside shot here available on the enemy Yamato. AntiFun takes advantage of it and unfortunately rails the turrets. I know that feeling. Is that a secondary build Yamato, by the way? I didn't notice that when I watched this the first time. The secondaries are going off on the enemy Atago that is at least 10, I think 9-10 kilometers away from the Yamato. Secondary build Yamato, I haven't seen that in ever because it's terrible. Okay. Bow in Azuma, broadside Yamato. Choices. Gives the the rear guns to the Azuma as the front guns reload. Takes a shot at the Yamato. Gets the kill on the Azuma. Doesn't nick the cheek of the Yamato, but he does get Confederate. Activates Halsey's skill. I forget what it's called. But now he has an improved reload time on his main battery guns. Secondary guns have started a fire on the Yamato. Even though he isn't secondary build, they still have plenty of fire starting capabilities. He now has a 21-second base reload time on these awesome guns. And there he goes for kill number 7 now at this point, ladies and gentlemen. I forgot to mention the other kill that he got with the Azuma. So he's up to 7 kills now. Team is down. Both teams are down to 3 ships. However, the enemy team does have that Fletcher that's still around. Now, at this moment, the Ohio here, well, actually, the Indomitable is the fastest ship on the enemy team left, but he's, CV. Does he really count? So, AntiFun here in the Ohio is the fastest ship on the enemy team. That goes 28 knots. Yamato goes 27 and change. And the Fletcher on the enemy team is not a fast DD, but certainly faster than the Ohio here. So, AntiFun launches his ASW aircraft to see if maybe the Fletcher forgot to turn his AA off. That way we can at least get a general idea of where the Fletcher is at. And there he is. CV flies over him and spots him for AntiFun. AntiFun focuses secondaries on him. I don't think he has manual fire for secondaries, so I don't see the effect popping up at the bottom. but he fires his main guns, his forward main guns at the Yamato, which they unfortunately bounced. Again, these are 457mm guns and not 460 or 18.1-inch guns, so the Ohio cannot overmatch 32mm of armor. The friendly CV is trying to carpet bomb the Fletcher, and the friendly Yamato is way the hell out there. Now, if I was the friendly Yamato, I would be going wide, taking the roughly B6 to B3 route into the A-cap. Gives me lots of open water, keeps me away from the islands. That way, I can have plenty of room to maneuver from the Fletcher's torpedoes. At the same time, too, I have plenty of room to maneuver from the Chikhalov. And if you look at the last time position of the Chikhalov, he is sailing in the direction of the A-cap. So there's a good chance you might get him there. AntiFun fires, kills a couple of dozen townspeople as the shells travel through their homes. Gets a wonderful shot on the side of Yamato, 23k in pure alpha damage, no citadels, and now he's got high caliber in his pocket as well. Lining up another shot again here, he is now at least contesting and capping the B-cap. Again, the friendly Yamato is just way the hell out of the fight. Another beautiful broadside shot there on the Yamato, kills several church parishioners as he almost kills the Yamato there, because he blasted the giant church on this map. I think it's a church, might be a fort. I don't know. Somebody died from that many 18-inch shells hitting this side of that reinforced wall there. So has the Yamato absolutely dead to rights here. Chikhalov visible for a split second there. Fires the full broadside at the Yamato and easily finishes him off for a citadel for a grand total of 8,000 damage there for his 8th kill, ladies and gentlemen. So now he is in the B-cap. He's stuck here because he has to cap this cap in order to, of course, prevent the massive points lead becoming an even massiver points lead at this point. I know massiver isn't a word, but it sounds funny. I am not an English teacher, as some of you have noticed. So he is now sailing toward the A-cap, and to be fair, with how slow the Ohio is, he can absolutely gun it out of here and still have plenty of time to cap. So the enemy Yamato, this position where he's at, I'm sorry, friendly Yamato, this position where he's at, not the route I would have taken. However, he does at least have island cover to block these skip bombers. Oh, here's the Fletcher. Hello, Fletcher. He has HE loaded too, by the way, proving that he is a 500 IQ battleship player by switching to the HE munition type. Now, unfortunately, the Fletcher did flat out the Yamato, but I would have gone that way. I understand, getting island cover, that way the Chikhalov can't get his skip bombers and his munitions out on you because they have such a long arming distance, but just right into a torpedo funnel. He should have taken the more northerly route where he would have had all that open water to maneuver around. Now, at this point, too, the friendly CV has started to move up into the B-cap, which is very good, shortening down that cycle rate on his planes. And this right here is about to be the biggest damage that AntiFun has taken during this entire match. A couple of torpedoes to the side. Here comes a Chikhalov with his torpedoes. As you can see, he has that very long American damage con running, so he could pop it back then, and it's still going to be running by the time these Chikhalov torpedoes hit his side, so no floodings are going to be starting with these torpedoes, so there you go. Let this guy in chat. Does Ohio has HE, as he's been firing HE for the past 3 salvos now? That was the one of the gearings that asked that, by the way. So Indomitables coming back around to spot the Fletcher. There he is. AntiFun gives him a full broadside, 8 18-inch shells full of HE, and there we go. That's a dead Fletcher. This is his 9th kill, ladies and gentlemen. 241,856 damage done so far. 9 kills. Dev Strike, Kraken, Confederate, and high caliber. All he has to do now is sink this CV. And with a friendly CV here to spot, he can easily do that. So here comes in the Chikhalov's torps. Now you might notice something that is very odd. Friendly CV had rocket planes out. He then recalled those rocket planes and launched dive bombers, or carpet bombers. If you notice the path that the carpet bombers are taking, just rewind the video a couple of seconds, he wanted to go see the sea cap there for a second. You might be seeing where this is going. So, AntiFun has switched over to AP now. He's popped a hill, saving him. He now probably has a hella fast reload time. I would assume in like the teens at this moment with Adrenaline Rush going. Chikhalov's coming back with his dive bombers. And now, after taking the scenic route to get here, here comes the friendly carpet bombers to spot the enemy Chikoloff. And sure enough, there it is. But if you may hear, the round is over. Nine kills, 2,100 base XP, 1.6 million credits. I'm sorry, 1.9 million credits, 14,000 XP, 9,000 free XP on a loss, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and he got Fireproof at the end as well as Dreadnought. Just slipped those last couple of achievements there right at the end. He has more XP than, well, everyone else on the enemy team except for the top two players. Oh, man. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Now, sure, you can argue that because the Chikoloff was hiding behind the island, that there wouldn't have been too much that he could have done either way. Sure, but we don't know if he's been sitting there the entire time or if he was, you know, on his way there, and AntiFun could have snuck a couple of shots in at him as he was trying to pull up beside that island. Also, you know, he would have known where he was at and potentially could have gotten to a better angle to where he could have gotten a couple of shots in behind him. Of course, too, the CV could have just dumped a couple of rockets into the side of the Chikoloff, maybe forcing him to move or panic and mess up or who knows what. But nope, that didn't happen. And then, of course, he sent the carpet bombers for some reason on a scenic tour of the sea cap. I don't know why. But again, between maybe a salvo from the rocket planes and then a carpet bombing and then a salvo from the Ohio, Chikoloff might have been done. The Soviet CVs have terrible armor, and he was 10 kilometers away from it. I don't think he would have missed, especially with the record he had going here and with his shots. So, AntiFun, thank you so much for sending this in, dude. I am so sorry that you couldn't eke a win out of that. It just... 9 kills and a loss. But look how important destroyers are, guys. Because that Fletcher was alive and still would just run around and stand detected and harass the enemy Yamato, that definitely won them the game there. If one of AntiFun's DDs would have been alive at the end, it probably would have been a victory, and God knows, this easily would have been, I'm pretty sure, a 3k base XP game on a victory here. Potentially maybe even a 4 with 9 kills. Good God, who knows. But AntiFun, again, thanks for sending that in, my guy. If you have a replay you would like to send in, check out the email link in the description down below. Send it there, give me a couple of details about what happened in the match, and please send me your screenshots and your commander builds as well. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you guys like to see more of these replay videos in the future. If you did enjoy, make sure to subscribe. We're on our way to 40,000 subscribers, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that. We will be doing a giveaway once we hit that goal, so make sure you stick around for that. Hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.